Present. Word of me, yeah, yeah. The question is, how can you be in the past and in the future and still be in the present? Hey, the present is a gift. Open up the flower of life, right? Consistency is key, baby. Yeah. And it's going down my people right here. It was a blessing to wake up today. Not just my people in the struggle. I mean, my people is trying to bubble too, right? Yeah, you gotta learn to believe in yourself. I gotta say, you can't love nobody until you love yourself. Word of me. No matter about this and that, all that I'm wrong, no matter what you're going through, gotta say, you always gonna be with yourself. Let's go. Fathers on crack, mothers on coke. Son is a hustler, daughter no hope. So what is left of our community? When I look around, I'm not seeing the common unity. Damn, babies starving, malnutrition, mothers dying, AIDS invention, cancer medicine way out of reach. When I'm looking for the teacher, there's no teachers left to teach. So where are the answers? When I'm looking for the dollars run faster. Inside now I reach. When I look inside myself, now I'm able to teach. One thing that I felt, I can't love nobody till I love myself. One thing that I felt, I can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. Hey, you mean the world to me. I gotta say you mean the world to me. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you mean the world to me. You mean the world to me. I gotta say you mean the world to me. I gotta say you mean the world to me. Yeah, yeah. You're all that I want, everything that I need. Gotta say you mean the world to me.
Through all of my life, I've been going through some changes. I can see it no other way. I've seen ups and downs, life's rounds and rounds. Routine seems here to stay. I'm looking in the mirror, all I see is imperfections. Round turn, looking back at me. I rub my hair and caress your face. You mean the world to me.
Pain and the pressure don't exist in my mind. I woke up this morning, got to see the sunshine. Good day, living life, waves in the ocean. Riding wave of life, vibrate, keep coasting. One thing that I felt, say I can't love nobody till I love myself. One thing that I felt, say you can't love nobody till you love yourself. Hey, you mean the world to me. I gotta say you mean the world to me. Yeah, yeah. You mean the world to me. You mean the world to me. I gotta say you mean the world to me. I gotta say you mean the world to me. Yeah, yeah. You're all that I want, everything that I need. Gotta say you mean the world to me.
You're all that I want, everything that I need. Gotta say you mean the world to me. You're all that I want, everything that I need. Gotta say you mean the world to me. You're all that I want, everything that I need. Gotta say you mean the world to me. You're all that I want, everything that I need. Gotta say you mean the world to me.
Yeah. Dirty Mac, Ice Water, God body. Happy birthday, King. We ain't forgot about you. Definitely not. Last but not least. Yeah, we up in there. We are up in there. It is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. We could be doing nothing but the biggest. Hey, introducing. Here we are. We are back on deck. The goddess Toha. He Ru. Hey Ru. What's up? What's the business, God and goddesses? What's popping?
What's good in the hood? What's good in the hood? What's going on? Yes.
God body. Yeah, so hey, we live and direct. Tonight we're gonna talk about street justice. What's snitching? Look, you know what? We're gonna get right down to business. Like we're gonna get right down to business tonight. As you've seen at the very end of the video, y'all make sure y'all go like, subscribe to the video. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it, got over 8,000 views, only 24 likes, but everybody like, we love the song. Hey, so yes, sometimes we don't ask for We don't ask for assistance. If you like something, like it, share it. You might be helping a lot of people. People attract to the negativity, and there's a lot of the negativity out there. So we want to throw the positive vibes out there, but the other kind of vibes, they can be out there too. But to get right to it, anybody out there that knows Ice Water, that knows my brother right here, we're gonna get right down to business tonight. Right down to business. Where we at? All right, here we go. Anybody know the brother here? Rest in light to the God. Rest in light to the God. You know, brand new information that we have that probably haven't been on the news is this. This here. This is two of the people that were running after he was shot. These people, make sure you contact, Detective Reed, Jaleesa Reed, whatever you do. I don't no longer care about who thinks street code etiquettes. Man, people don't have any of that. We don't have any of that. So yeah, we're gonna get in tonight. Street justice. We're gonna discuss this. It's gonna be a vibe tonight. It is gonna be a vibe tonight. Here goes what he looked like he chill like it's they just took a person's life. Yeah, it's all good in the hood. Yeah, so no further. Here we go. Before we get to the mentorship, we're gonna talk about it. Like, is there code? Should people not talk about what goes on in their neighborhood when somebody's murdered, or you know what I'm saying? What is the science with this? Like, whoever want to jump out there first, y'all more than what with it.
Well, I mean, I think one of the first things we got to do, God, we got to think about what are these codes that we talking about in the first place? What are the codes? You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, from what I remember, we're talking about obviously way before now, even before 2000. We're talking about the 90s. We're talking about the 80s, right? And a lot of people who are especially like the millennial, they don't understand about those 90s codes. A lot of these codes were started off at a different time. So really, a lot of the codes that we kept in the 90s were the codes that we learned in the 80s as children. You know what I'm saying? So you learn the codes of the street by watching the older cats when you're young, because most people, not all people, but most people are growing up in the household with some sort of adult figure, grandparents, parents, right? Older siblings or whatever. Usually if you have an older sibling, all my boys that I knew that lived with their grandparents or the older siblings, they got away with a little bit more than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? If your parents were in the house, you didn't really have the option to do a lot of the bullshit that was going on from everybody else, right? So you could stay out later. You didn't really have a curfew. You could come home when you want because you didn't have those parents. So the ones that were bringing the codes as the young kids to the other kids, to the friends that were at home at curfew, the ones that couldn't go to the party.
Oh, they say you got him breaking up. Yeah. Word life, God is word life. So I mean, what is it like? What's your thought on street justice? Like, or how we operate with balance in communities? Like, can it ever get to a point where there's a village again, or do we need to carry out street justice? Like,
Okay, so I can answer that. Like, I had a sister that was murdered, okay, in DeSoto, Kizzy Arwer, all right. And street justice in the sense of, I was asked that, did I would I have wanted somebody to handle that, by the people that interviewed me, because they also had a story. She was on First 48 and Fatal Attraction. And they asked me how I would feel. And putting somebody out of misery, that's all the street justice understands. Sometimes you know, the whole goal is rehabilitation. I don't care about, it doesn't stop it. Street justice does not stop crime. That's the eye for eye mentality. When do we begin to get in the mind of the criminal and try to understand so that we can prevent these things from happening?
Okay,
That's
so if somebody,
that's more where I'm at.
if you live in an apartment complex and somebody shoots somebody in that apartment complex, are you telling what they look like if you ask? Or if you have a picture or video, are you going, or does rules apply? Like, is there is no, like, is you gonna be a real, I hate the language that's even
I mean,
used
go ahead. I mean,
because
I feel you though. I know what you're finna say.
yeah,
Yeah, you know,
yeah,
honestly, we got to be real with ourselves. We got to be real. It depends on who the person is. Everybody has
yeah,
their limit. So let's just put it on your
yeah,
favorite person. This happens too. Okay? Because at that point, street justice is now turned into revenge.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The proper procedures take its place, run its course. So street cred, it's not snitching to me. I just seen him go over there. I just seen him walk in his house. That's street justice
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Staying silent about it.
yeah. I mean, oh God, body, word life, word life. Yeah, I really don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. If somebody's hard working and they hard hustling, I don't care what they doing. If they find a way to make their way, whatever way that is, I don't think nobody you know, if you want to survive and you go take something from a store and you get caught, that's something different. But when you go to somebody's house and yeah, yeah, I don't think rules. You know, I don't know. I think the rules apply. I'm gonna put your picture on here. Let me put that picture on here again. I hope people shit. Hey man, go find these motherfuckers for real. Go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, square business. Two zips. Hey man, go find these people. Like yeah, yeah, y'all bugging. y'all are bugging. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are tripping, man. Like you know yeah, I don't know what the works is. What the works is on that. I don't know how you and nowadays finding these people, it's up to the community. Like shout out to Big Bub the handler too. Like he went and actually got out and made those photos get released. Like this person got killed April the 4th. You know, nobody said nothing. Family, no peace. You can almost feel his spirit still by his door, like um, wandering around, not still not accepting what's happening. Like it's the weirdest shit in the world to me. So I get and look at it and be like, at some point we got to have enough. We got to have enough. We got to be at a point to where we actually had enough. Dr. Jeff, God body, what's the business, King?
What's going on, peeps?
Word life, word life. We
Peace.
got Dr. Jeff in here. Toa
What's up,
and
brother?
Hey,
What's good? What's
yeah.
good, fam? Yeah.
Yeah, man. But tonight we just getting on it. We talking about basically street justice. Should there be codes and ethics, or should we live by a street principle? Or if somebody goes in your community and because we don't have law enforcement, we'll point the law enforcement to you if you're doing something in the nature. Bro, I wish we could. We're gonna get to that point of nation building. And Dr. Jeff, you're a big part of it, man. Peace of the God. Good to have him up here tonight too. But I mean, just a flex on that. We 14 minutes in deep, so we gonna stay too much longer on street justice. Dr. Jeff King, what's your thought about that? Somebody comes into your community and actually and they shoot somebody. Are you telling who did that, or is it like no, that's not my business? What you think? What you think, God, buddy?
Man, it's definitely a difficult situation. I don't think that you can operate the same way in every scenario. I feel like it requires, a bit of nuance to each situation. But in general, um, man, I believe that our community needs to start operating under our own sort of jurisdiction. Now, if it's a criminal situation and authority needs to be involved, I'm cool with that. But that doesn't always necessarily equate to justice. So, you know, I can think of a lot of scenarios where I wouldn't agree, and I can think of another handful of scenarios that I would agree. So I'm just gonna stay balanced, keep a straddle the fence on that question.
Bruh, say straddle the fence. God body.
I mean,
God
real
body.
I agree with that, bro. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Sometimes, revenge is the best policy, right? Sometimes revenge is the best policy. Sometimes silence is the best policy, and sometimes silence is complacency. You know what I'm saying? So when you're silent in certain situations, like a woman or a kid, right, and you stand there and watch that, and don't get over, and this lady get robbed, and you might jump in again.
Yeah,
Like the brother said, it takes a finesse with your mind to be able to decide what the situation is because there is no standard. So that's why the codes, like the street codes, don't really apply right now because honestly, the street life is honestly played out. You can't hustle like you used to. You know what I mean? Even if you're not hustling drugs, you hustling product, the hand to hand combat in the streets where you're like out there. That pretty much. So the codes when they got rid of the unity because it used to be unified, even though there was gangs and whatever on the block, there was a type of unity to where certain people would get passes and everybody kind of knew when it was. And plus it was a certain time. Let's keep it real. There was a point in time when we heard certain crimes, we knew who the culprit was. We knew
yeah,
automatically if you shot your parents, knew who did it. If you raped somebody, we knew who did it, right? So
yeah,
there was a lot of the crimes that were out of our community. You know what I'm saying? Like the rape that they're coming from other communities. They weren't come. The only
It's-
time like a
yeah,
melanated person, only time we was doing that, right, was like a brother would get into it with his girl and it'd be like a crime of passion. He might kill his girl and when he's really mad. It's not gonna be, you know what I mean? He's not stalking somebody, trying to kidnap. So now we're in a situation where if you hear these crimes, you don't know who did it. It could be anybody. So those codes
yeah,
don't count now. We can't go off of those codes. And I feel like honestly, we can sit there and say, don't say nothing, don't do nothing. But listen, sometimes if you say something, like my man said, if the authorities get involved, that don't equate to justice. You
nah,
know what I'm saying?
don't.
Somebody kill your pet. If you give them to the police, they get.
Damn, shit breaking up. You
You know what
breaking
I'm
up
saying?
big
And that
time,
may not
brother.
be justice.
I know what he's saying.
So I think,
Right.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna go on to the mentorship, man. One second, yeah. But yeah, bro. Yeah, we're gonna wrap that topic up. We're gonna listen to the Goddess Tour, talk about the whole team, man. What we actually really doing right now, and what's to come from right now. Let's get it.
Signal up, and they called it.
whole team winning.
Whole team winning, whole team winning, the whole team winning, got my whole team winning, got my whole team winning, My whole team winning, got my whole team winning. I sent a best signal up, and they caught it in the wind, in the wind, in the wind. My whole team winning, threw a smoke signal up, and they caught it in the wind, in the wind, in the wind. My whole team winning. What you gon' do when that mic is in your hand? What you gon' say when that mic is in your hand? Come and bless the land, come bless the land. Spitting fire from a purple-hearted drizzy dragon. Silly jackrabbit tricks. Them tricks are for kids, the two become one royal sovereign being. Went from left to right, right then back to left. Activated Christ consciousness in the riff. If it ain't about money, I ain't even got the time. It's a currency that flows to my relaxing state of mind. I am the evolution, the ascended master I need. It ain't no matrix, I'm the gatekeeper. My light is the key, now glow up.
Yeah, right there, right there.
Blow
Whole
up.
whole team winning. Hey, whole team is winning. Yeah, we are the light. That was the goddess right there. Tor, what's the business?
What's goody? What's goody?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we going on to the next topic, mentorship. Right now, as the way things land, we seen Diddy's mentorship through the industry. He brought through Justin Bieber, Usher. There's a lot of people that went through the Diddy's mentorship, and through that mentorship, it looked like I don't know, it's a lot coming out there in the news. So what could us as people, especially men, we got 3 men on the phone, 3 men. So definitely one of the guys. Y'all pop up about this first. What can we do to be better mentors? Like with our time, like we trying to balance out finances, being parents, relationships, duties that you need to do as far as being in the community. How do you actually form mentorships, especially by yourself? I understand it's a certain, but I think even the strong get tired. So let's talk about mentorships, man. Like being a different, showing a different than what is out there.
I mean, well, brother, you want to go first? Brother Jeff,
Do
you
I
want to go
want to go
first?
first? Let's let the goddess go first. Ladies first.
There we go. God body.
All right, let's go. Toha.
Okay. I mean, I feel like a masculine question, you know. So as far as mentorship, the balance, I was really expecting of this.
I mean, well, let me go ahead and jump in because I got some. So like, I'm thinking about a situation. I was working as a photographer, right? And I got a chance to meet the lady across the street from the bombing in Alabama when they bombed the church parish in Alabama with Martin Luther King, right? So I met the 3 little girls, friends to those 3 little girls. They were also in the church that day. They just didn't die. And the old lady. And anyway, so make a long story short, they was talking about how the men used to patrol the neighborhood with the shotty. They get in groups of 12 or whatever and walk around the block and make sure that there was no police or no invaders in the neighborhood, right? And they were describing the structure, about the community and how the community moved in unison. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I had this look on my face, and she was like, "What?" Because I'm a cameraman, so I don't really talk to the client or whatever, So she's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, I don't really want to say anything because I'm not supposed to be talking to her. And she's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Listen, she's 93. I said, I'm curious to know what happened because what you're describing, I haven't seen. I don't understand what that looks like. Because, if we went from that to this, how did we get from here to here?" And she stopped. She said, "I don't know." So she asked her daughter. Her daughter was 75. She asked her daughter. Her daughter said she didn't know. She asked the son. He was 67. He really didn't know. He had no clue. And it got me to thinking. I think that a lot of men, when we think mentor, we're thinking about actually sitting down conversing, putting something together where we're talking to the youth or whatever, but we are mentors when we don't realize it because we're being watched. We're being watched by the little shorties. They're paying attention to how we talk, how we dress, the way we treat our women. They're listening and watching everything. So we're naturally going to be mentors because they're always watching us. And I think the solution is to understand that our moves, first of all, our problem is we don't really dedicate our time. We don't divide our time in the day properly, right? So we're waiting. I think a lot of us wait for things to get to the state that we really want them to be in before we actually bust a move and say, okay, I got this. When really it's step by step by step. So you conquer one particular step and you go to the next step. You don't look 10,000 steps down the way because then you're going to feel like you ain't never going to make it and you're going to keep falling. So if we were to learn to divide our days up into sections, you know what I'm saying, and have a certain amount of time in the day for your work, another time for your family, and another time for your rest and relaxation. And if we create a system of being accountable that's another reason that we don't want to really be mentors, because in a mentor state, you're accountable for the bullshit, right? Because they're going to say, hey, how you telling me not to talk like that and you talking like that? How you going to tell me not to do this and you're doing it? You know, and that right there is one of the main reasons why we don't really claim the mentor spot too heavy, because it's going to cast light on us as an individual. You know what I'm saying? So the solution is we got to man up, right? If you look at pictures of our brothers, our uncles, and our grandfathers back in the 30s, right? Around this time, they were dressed in suits. You know what I'm saying? They were down bad. You know what I'm talking about? At that time, they was getting treated very, very badly, but they were dressed so professionally, clean, sharp. They had 8 kids in the house with a wife, and it was good. You know, they worked hard, and that's why they didn't have a lot of the problems now, because right now the youth are the ones who are doing the leading. And basically the elders have left, and those of us that are in this state, a lot of us have tapped out. So it's gonna have to be on a. I don't think it's never gonna be. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I don't really see like a village type of situation where we're all together. I mean, because hell, we don't even know our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the cat that lived 2-3 doors down the block, been there 2 years. You ain't never exchanged 2 words with him. The time of let me come over and borrow some sugar, you got, that's done. So
and that's real talk, because we was going into mentorship and relations, and if you don't know your next door neighbor, and it's like, hey, like, well, we do got to face that. We got to face that. We was all brought in a world where everybody pays their own rent. So the system almost forces a situation to where you're in a fight or flight situation. Like, you got to take care of your domain to the point to where only struggle, everything just going all the way bad. That's the only thing that's gonna bring people together. I personally think. I think the majority of people wait to get their health right when something's all the way bad. Now, you always have the exceptions to the rule. I feel like we're here tonight because we are that exception to the rule. We're the ones who can trailblaze and make. We the indigo children. We was brought here to be the example. Not enough of us have really took the strides to be the example. You know, shout out to Malcolm X, man. We had a festival last week. He was one of the people that really didn't care. He had that Hayroot energy. He had that will to be a mentor, to hold yourself accountable. And that's the thing about a team. I might not be the best at certain things, but if you have a team, you're going to have somebody say, you got to be here, this or this or that, do this or that. You shouldn't need nobody to do none of that, but it's in the water. It's fluoride in the water. People's pineal gland is decalcified. There's so much calcification on the pineal gland. I just learned about something called tamarin. There's so many things that we can do that we have to start doing instead of waiting until it's too late. And that's why the guy L, he would say, man, I just can't see us having unity or a village, because most of the time people get married nowadays, it splits apart their families. We have to get back to everything that you do in life. It adds to your family. It doesn't take away. So mentorship is difficult to tell these young men and women that are being handed video games and phones when they're 3 and 4 years old, and then you want to talk to them about mentoring them to get out the house and do all these things that don't really exist. That they really like have AI, have human, like this transhuman is starting to look kind of real. But going to that, Dr. Jeff, God, what you got on it?
Man, it's so vital. It's so essential, man. In my opinion, this mentorship thing is what's missing, actually. So, if you go back historically, man, we make a lot of the same mistakes as a community as we did in the past, right? And so, to me, I can't quite that math ain't mathing, right? How we keep making similar mistakes in regards to developing our own infrastructure, developing camaraderie amongst the community, et cetera, et cetera. So there were some valid questions asked. How did we get to the point to where we don't know our neighbor? How did we get to the point to where there's no community involved in our neighborhoods? Because, like you say, just 2 generations ago, that was a big component of why we were able to survive a lot of the various different attacks and things that happen in our communities, because we all seem to move as one with a collective mindset. So, from my vantage point, the one thing I want to drive home is that, man, we talked about this a lot, knowledge. We're in a very interesting position as 40-year-old men, right? Because we still have the capability to speak the language of the young people and to connect with the young people. But we've also earned the right to sit with elders and to provide our perspective to our elders. So we represent a very, very important component of the community, because we're really the bridge builders that make sure that the information that our ancestors know, the information that that our elders, our seniors know, gets transferred to the next generation. So we don't, most importantly, we don't make the same mistakes, but we're able to then convert that information into something that's digestible for our young people, so that they don't feel disconnected and they have a leg up. We've had several different generations where we haven't improved, right?
Yeah,
And I think that's the huge thing that happens in other communities, is that with each new generation, things get better, things get better, things get better. So we've had a couple of generations where things haven't gotten better. In some instances, they've gotten worse.
real talk.
Most, most,
Most they
most
say for
instances,
real.
yeah, most in a majority. I think that in a lot of the major categories, it's gotten notably worse, and that's because not only because of our behaviors and the things that we're doing, but because we're under both psychological and biological attack, right? And a lot of these attacks are subliminal. So there's a lot of the street code that we talked about in the beginning, street justice and things like that. The street justice is based on the code. So when you violate the code, then there's a form of justice that needs to be take place. So talk about the justice, we talk about the codes, but the codes were replaced. You understand? Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was my bad right there, bro. Yeah, we can
Oh,
still hear
okay.
you though. Let me pull this down.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The codes were replaced by characters, right? Through media characters, right? So movies, music, and things like that, so that they were able to write, because they weren't on the street, right? But they did have control and access to the people who were going to end up on the street by programming the different characters into our normal psyche. And then we're fighting a lot of psychological warfare. The police lights are red and blue, which we understand that the red and blue are the two ends of the visible color spectrum, right? So we have the red at the bottom and the blue at the top, and that marks the scale of the visible color spectrum. And it's known, and you can research this and look it up, but it's known that the nervous system is affected by those lights. And you can already tell. You don't got to look it up. All you have to do is think about it. even if you legal, you not hot, you don't have nothing on you, your paperwork straight. As soon as you see those lights, there's like a
Psychological
rush.
effect.
It's like a stress that goes through you. So if you were to, and I don't know how much time, I don't know what we're working with time or whatever. I mean, I could go through some of the things, but I mean, you can really look it up. We're talking about neurotransmission and the effects of red and blue lights and how they cause anxiety. Right. You have the concrete the concrete buildings in the school. You got the school to prison pipeline. You have a lot of things that have caused us to deflate instead of increasing ourselves, like our like the last 2 or 3 generations before us. They started with Generation X, right? Because we were the first ones to have our fathers out of the house. So we're representing the crossroad age at in our 40s, right? We represent the age where we can deal with, like my man said, we deal with the youth, we can deal with the elders. We're in the crossroad, right? But they started with us in the 80s to separate us and to make us do that. So I think we have to consider a lot of these different forms of warfare that are being targeted specifically at us.
Nah, we appreciate that insight, King. Yeah, and that's going into the effects of childhood trauma that we're about to tackle next, bro. Yeah, we know you can be a little long-winded, so we ain't gonna let him get started too hard, man. But yeah, man, we're going into it. Hey, here we go. God Body L, man. Y'all check the God out, man. Y'all know top of the hill. Yeah.
Hey, they call me a niggas, a modern day Philistine, ready to blow up like a Vegas nigga. Bust them in the head, let them know the word when I said what I said. Hey, listen, one time for the one time, blaze of what one rhyme. Let them know gun time is fun time. And Rosemary, I promise I would never change. Still I say the same, but that was before I knew the whole planet would turn straight. They changed them into women and men, dumbing down, killing emotions in the rest of the pit. Hit you with the vaccine, Android, listening in, iPhones, tracking your actions. Your heart rate written on your wrist in digital code. Most these folks still in the matrix, stuck on genital mode.
Okay.
Start in the middle.
Right. Now we say it's got some little buffer and something going on there, but that's the guy L, man.
That's
yeah,
fine.
man.
Just skip that, keep moving.
Yeah, top of hill, man. We're going straight into it. The effects. We have talked about street justice, mentorship relations, and now we're going into the effects of all of these things, the effects of who we are today, being present. It's difficult to be present when you're carrying so much from the past and then you're thinking about what you want to do in the future simultaneously. Like if you can just, hey, everybody that's out there, throw them hearts out there in the comments. Be present. Be present. Y'all throw them hearts out there in the comments. Now you're normally presently where we are in the conversation. And where we're at is getting to the effects of childhood trauma. A lot of the young people, there's a disconnect with the older people. They have been held video games, put in front of televisions from the time they were birthed, and they hit the dock like a ship hitting the land, and they dock. The first thing they see is the doctor. They don't see their parents saying, here they see a doctor and a needle for the vitamin K for. Yeah, so it's trauma from the time you are born, and then even before you're born, while you're in your stomach, people are struggling, hormones going through. They don't know what they're gonna eat. They don't know if they can keep the lights on, if rent can be paid. So you're going through all of this before you're even born. Before you're even born, you're going through this. So somebody pick up. What are the effects? Like, Toha, talk to us.
Yeah, peace. So I did a little study because I do, self-therapy. Okay. So you pretty much have, if you're not in therapy, to advise that you look this up for yourself. You got to do your research. Okay. But there's a term they call it's called ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And this is things that can happen from the womb you're even born in your womb. Okay, you can pick the name, and we talked about this previously. Like with it could be just your community. Your house could be good, but just living in a high crime rate community where there's a lot of drugs, that can create ACEs in children, trauma, nervous conditions, ADHD, affect their learning ability. And even if, just like on Boys in the Hood, let's put it that way, they were still crawling around on that floor. They was eating good, they was dressing nice, they wasn't hurting, their bills was due, but they were still, we're caught up. They were still good, but they were still crawling on that floor and affected by ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And so the effects of childhood trauma not only affect you in this generation. We think, okay, I'm good in this generation. You don't know how it affects generations to come. You need to focus. That's why we need to focus on mentorship. It's not that, we're trying to go back to a certain time with the village mentality. But if I must be real, I'm preparing for our future. We're preparing our sons for your daughters and your daughters for our sons and our future grandchildren. And so that needs to be the root in this self-preservation. But, we'll become the ancestors, the future of our blood.
God body. God is body. Word life. Yo, L King, what's up, man? What's the effects of childhood trauma? How's it affected? Does it affect you? Has it affected you in any way?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just vibing on what the goddess was saying, I think again, not to get too deep or nothing, but I was talking about those neurotransmissions, right? And when you think about it, like how the goddess just said, like, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's in your area. Maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's the whole block, but it's not your house, right? So when you think about it, we're talking about neurotransmissions, right? So what is a neurotransmission in the first place? It's basically the transfer of information between the neurons, right? Okay. So you have your spinal cord and your nervous system, and the spinal cord connects directly to the brain, right? So you have these nerve endings and these particular messages and impulses that are shot through the brain. Some go down the spine and others go through those neurotransmitters so that it can carry messages from the brain throughout the rest of the body, right? So when we look at us as a people, as a group, as a whole, right? In the area that you're in, if you have a lot of trauma going on, it's gonna affect you. You know what I'm saying? Because these neurotransmissions, when you think about I and I, right? You and me, we're one. You're hungry, I'm doing good, you doing good, right? When you think about that mentality, everybody eat this tribe thing, right? So when you think about it like that, it is a unified transmission of trauma, right? So when there's trauma surrounding me, even though my house might be straight, right? My kids might be disciplined. They got bedtimes, they eat good, they do what they do, right? But the trauma of the people in and around us, right? That's going to affect you because that's why we're called groups of people. So like you could take a monkey, right? And give the monkey cigarettes, or let's not even use that one. You can, because the other monkeys will start smoking right on the other side of the planet, right? You can also take like a bee, like there are insects, right, who will a particular a disease will come through and wipe out a whole bunch of trees. What the trees do is they alert the trees on the other tree, because you're on one side of the country. They'll alert the tree. The trees in New York get attacked. They will alert the trees in California. You know what I'm saying? So they'll produce insects, bees, and stuff like that will protect them. Why? Because there's a transmission. Because the same way, if you think about the Avatar movie, right, and you know how the tree, right, how the tree with the with the roots and everything, You know what I'm saying? And the trees were living, but they were all connected. And that's how we are as people. So we're gonna have these particular traumas when they're, especially if they're in our inner circle. So like, you know, if you are like what you said now that you're talking about like the exceptions to the rule. If you are watching this and you happen to feel like you're one of the exceptions to the rule, you understand by the measurement of your aura. Now, the average person, and this is gonna sound fun, the average person pretty whack, right? Okay. The average person sucks, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and we're talking about measuring, we're talking about trauma, right? So, like, if the average person sucks because they've been beat up and they've been degraded and they've been like, you know, they have all this pressure on them and all, you know, so their aura doesn't even barely extend beyond the length of their arm and in a full circle around them, right? But you're really supposed to have miles of energy that you are able to access. Now, those who are empathic, those who are telepathic, those who have access to clairvoyance and clairaudience, clairgustance, right? Your physical senses on an energetic level. Oh shit! Why you looking at King? Why you looking like that? Am I getting too? Am I going too deep?
No. You know, no, I'm just making sure we're not trying to stay on no time constraints. Y'all people, you know, be mindful with us. You know, we just getting back. And this is the first time this panel done linked up. Nah, bro, you doing good, God. You doing good, Ken. You handling the business to the
All right,
fullest,
word.
man.
You know, I
But
know we got a
hey,
format, so you know, keep me on task, God. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You right about that. Tor, we got the guy that she on it for real. She on it big time.
She
Hey, yeah,
ready to go. Look at it. Go
that's
ahead,
for next
Toha.
time. She said that's it. Tor, I said that's for next time. Yeah. But hey, bro, you was on point, man, with the neurotransmissions. Like, seriously, yeah, extending or God body. You was on point, bro, with the neurotransmissions. Like, how do you even if you are living a good life, if Aunt Julie and her kids over here and they struggling and they don't have a bad time, they not used to going to bed, but now you got to tell Julie, hey, your kids got to go to bed, and she arguing, well, they not used to going to bed, and you like this, but she don't have nowhere to live though. I mean, so yeah, bro, your environment is definitely the neurotransmissions that exist is definitely like we have to get to a village, but it's difficult to get there because people have been dumbed down to great extent. But
Well,
they
hold
need
up.
to
Well,
hear
hold
it.
up. Well,
Yeah,
hold on. So, like, you know,
yeah,
talking about the village thing, right? So, like, really, is based on is on clans. Clans make families make up clans, right? So, like, your family, my family, Toha family, right?
yeah,
That make up three different clans, and we put the clans together, and that make a tribe, and then we put several tribes together, and that make a community. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the problem is that we broke down all the way at the freaking clan. We don't even got clans right now. We don't
man.
even have family units, and that's the reason why the community thing is impossible at this state. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So we gotta have like you got some people who are and I know like not to be going into like the future or whatever. We talked about like working together in the community oriented activities where we're able to like see hey you got something dope son, let's come over here to put something together. I like what you have, you like what I have, let's do something together. How come we can't do that? Is because number one, the accountability thing, you know what I'm saying? Because what I noticed with our people, it's about knowledge because we all are intelligent motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So we all know, right? And some of us may have some really good training, some extensive training and things like that. And then a lot of us, if you don't have training, you still might be able to blaze on somebody that has training because your experience, like we talked about the different mentors, right? You have a mentor who says, I'm a mentor. Then you got the other cat that he don't say he's a mentor, but everybody watches him. They all clocking how he moves. They're all studying his movements and they all doing what he does. So his advice, even though he doesn't give it to them, is how he lives that creates the mentorship. It's how he talks that creates the mentorship. So they say, hey, what would this person do in this situation? I want to be like this person, right? And it's basically a person who can offer that advice. But uh I think honestly, man, and I'm gonna share the floor because I feel like I'm hogging the mic. I just want to say this one thing and then I'm shut up. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go back to this neurotransmission, right? So the reason what I mean by that is like it is a type of empathy, right? It's the fact that I'm over here saying good and you over there hungry, right? So although I might not be getting ready to give you no money to feed you, I'm still gonna feel a little bit of the stress that you're hungry, right? Because as soon as you come ask me for some money, like, hey man, I was just wondering, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm hungry today, and I'll be like, oh man, this motherfucker asked me for money again. So the stress has jumped. That neurotransmission has jumped. The stress has gone from you to me, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Hey,
so
it's crazy. We ain't trying to stop you, but nowadays, if it was just something to eat that people ask you for, that would probably be good, bro. It'd be outlandish nowadays, bro. It'd be like,
hey yo, my
it'd be like
transmission jacked
$800
up, son.
limit or
I
some
need some
shit.
tires on the whip. You
Man,
know
you
what I
know
mean?
what
Hey
I'm
man,
saying?
I need my
For
15th
real.
went out.
Man, yeah, it'd be different. It'd
A
be
story
different.
and a request, boy. That's
Yeah.
what I call it. They got a story and a whole story with a request wrapped around it. You know what I'm saying?
But see and I'm telling you though, infrastructure, bro, that's a huge word. A lot of the politicians or people that organize things, they talk about infrastructure. We have to develop infrastructure within it, so we have something to depend on, bro. We should be able to man and woman team up and homeschool our youth. It's easy to catch people up to what they've been through to get them to their current state of where they at right now presently, and then to realize the past doesn't matter. It's only about the steps you take. The next steps you take after this step could create a whole new reality. So don't worry about what your future is or that you're not where you thought you should be in life. All of that stuff is effects of childhood trauma. A lot of people are not having they can't even communicate through the trauma for real. Like they don't even want to hear the truth. Like the majority of people cannot hear what's really truth, how a person feels. You should never be like, man, I don't want to say that I might hurt somebody's feelings because I don't think, this or that. Yeah, it's just crazy. The effects of childhood trauma, though. Closing statements. Queen Goddess, how you want to close it out for us? You got a bomb poem I heard earlier, but yeah, how you want to close it out on the night for
Oh,
real?
sure. I don't mind sharing my poem. Thank you for the floor. I appreciate it. Thank you for the platform.
God, it's body.
All right. This is called self therapy. If I could write a prescription to heal childhood's adverse childhood experiences, I'd speak to the core, heal the mutant DNA once and for all. I'd open the soul gate, let the everlasting light of purity flow. I'd hug the inner child, sit in silence for a while. I'd validate each moment, free up the mind, clear away the clouds. I'd tell the adrenaline to ease. That fight or flight energy is your battle with your shadow, not mine. Sometimes the parents need to listen. Let the children teach the lessons. Allow one to grow in peace, peace in their mind, peace in their heart, peace when they speak because they deserve to be heard. Peace when we wake from our sleep, we'll take our shoes off, walk in the grass, and sing. I had a little time with me. No more bullying. No longer being touched inappropriately. No longer sweeping it under the rug. We're shining the light for all to see what's underneath. This is divine transparency. If I could write a prescription to heal childhood, I'd heal our daddies and our moms because mental illness is real. And I release that devil. I'd change the way we talk. There are no regurgitating the hurt. Time for us to pause for a moment, share some compassion, and learn from our mistakes and stop pretending like we don't have none. And then we'd own our demons instead of letting our demons. This is real freedom. This is how I hope deal. I am not your punching bag. I am not your piece of ass. I am not your judgments or insecurities. I am the victor, not you. You see God in me. I ascend to love's frequency. I forgive because Forgiveness is inside of me. I untied the soul knots, changed the negative self-talk. It's time for us to tend to the divine energy that's within our temples. We've got to be in church, become the holy of holies, and transform our avatars into pure minerals. Peace.
God
Who-
body. Closing
Hey,
statement.
I think hey, that was deep. I even think I saw Knowledge crying over there. So that was cold.
Peace, peace.
That was a nice one.
It's
All
for
right, y'all.
business.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, she's so hard. For real.
Yeah, no, that yeah, your wordplay
Oh, God.
is nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
word.
Yeah, you ain't got no
When the next
freestyle.
No, I don't do
L.
freestyle, bro. I don't do
Hey,
freestyle. Hey, go to Apple
hey,
Music, go to
hey, bro,
SoundCloud, go to
bro.
Spotify. I'm on there.
Hey,
You know,
yeah. Y'all make sure y'all look at Dr. Hebrew L. Bay on Spotify. Yeah, brother, truth for real. He the
nah,
truth.
it's under New I Sold My eBay.
Okay, newer soul. All
Yeah,
right, already.
yeah.
Yeah, word life. Hey, and he got them dope love poems too. Hey, bruh's like, yeah, you're a real charmer for real. Square business. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
already.
I got that Method Man style love poem. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, man, but listen, man. I mean, I think it went pretty well, man. I mean, I do want to touch on some. I want to. I guess we do this in the background, but I have. I think that. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute.
word life. Word life. Well, hey, man, you know what? Y'all could have came anywhere. Y'all was here with us tonight. We was only supposed to do 45 minutes, but you know, hey, yeah, we it's a lot we got to talk about in the background because hey, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go there. We are raw and uncut. We the raw truth podcast. We in here officially full in effect. Back in the day. Hey man, y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all was here with us. One love. God.
Those
I
One